Hey there, it's Raksha on behalf of Matt Lloyd and Mobe. I'm about to call the dynamic duo Chris&Gil Perez to congratulate them on yet another commission that they've earned with Mobe, $4,550 this time. Let's hear what they have to say.
Hello.
Hey Chris, it's Raksha. How are you?
Hey Raksha, how are
Hey
you?
Raksha, this is Gil. I'm together with Chris.
Hey Gil, good to see you guys, speak to you guys again. How are you doing?
Very
We're doing
well,
great.
thanks.
That's great. I'm calling to congratulate you on another $4,550.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are no stranger to getting commissions from Mauve. I think the last time I saw you guys was at the IMF event in Singapore. I guess that was earlier this year, and you guys were presenting. You had quite a compelling why, if I recall.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you. Chris actually got the chance to speak there, and so we met Ken Krell there, and we took a video with him, and we're actually quite fortunate because he's been showing that video in almost all of the IMF events that he's been hosting all over Asia. Yeah, so we're quite thankful for that.
Wow, that's great. That's a lot of great exposure, and that's because I think your story is quite interesting as well. You want to share a little bit about that with the others that are listening in?
Yeah, sure. I was more interested to join MOB because I happily ended my career because we have twins with special needs, and I know that my time with them is more important, and I can do more 24 hours a day rather than send them to a therapy or work and then pay for their therapy, right? Um, and we found a great program for our twins. Nevertheless, a single income family is kind of tough, especially if you have twins with special needs. So I did want to find a way to support my husband's income. But like if I go back to a 9 to 5 job, the income that I would get, even if it was a high paying job like my husband's, wouldn't be worth like the time taken away from my kids. So when we discovered Mob, it was like the best option because we work a couple of hours a day. I can still do what I really want to do. And the commissions, like you said, the money that comes in is really worth like the time that you and the skills that you acquire when you join Mob.
That's so true. That's so true. It's quite a learning adventure it is. And
It is.
you both have actually passed the five-figure earner mark, haven't you?
Yes, we became part of the Elite Earners Club in when was that, Chris? December, January?
Yeah, early this year, late last year, yes.
Well,
Yes.
congratulations on that one too. So,
Thank
so I'm sure, since you two have been at it for a while, you've got an interesting story, it's facilitating your life. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing to earn these commissions, those few hours a day that you're spending. What are you doing to earn?
Well, the nice thing about Move is you don't really have to do much. You just have to get people to live events. And and one way of doing that is through Facebook advertising. Something about Facebook advertising that's really cool is if you master these skills, there's like so much more that you can do with it. Like I remember what I shared in that IMF event that you were talking about. I have um, the skills that I've learned with MOB, I don't only apply it to MOB, I apply it to a nonprofit organization, and I get people to autism events where we, parents like me who have helped their children, share how we have helped our children, and we've reached out to help other parents help their kids
That's great.
with autism. So it's amazing. The skills that we learn from MOB is amazing and how we use that. But back to your question, we've been promoting events in Asia, in the US, in UK, in different places around the world, and people have been going to events, meeting with coaches, with great coaches in those events. And all we had to do is, sit in front of our computers for a couple of hours a day to advertise and to get people there. And Moog takes care of everything else.
Yes, that's the beauty of the model.
Yes.
And that's great. And so you're promoting events all around the world then?
Yes.
Yes.
We do pick and choose because we realized that our ads convert better in Asia for some reason. Probably because we're Asian. And
Possibly. People probably relate to you.
yes. So we have had success in some places in the US. Yeah. And I guess it's also a learning experience. Through our marketing, I realized that um, it works like the 80-20 principle. Most of your success will come out of the 20% of the things that you do. So if you campaign, some of your campaigns won't work and some of your campaigns will convert. And because of the great MOB business model, if only 20% of your campaigns will convert, then the conversion more than makes up for the losses that you had in your previous campaigns, right? And the nice thing is you learn to calculate risks eventually, and you learn to minimize those areas, that 80% where you're losing. And with experience, you start to figure out where your ads do better. Like we realize that we like advertising in Asia more than the other countries.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think it is about focus and it's about being, sort of concentrating in one area and creating the focus and, as you say, calculating the risk. And I think that's important. Thanks for sharing that because I think it's important for new consultants to hear that. It isn't all going to be, not every campaign is going to work out exactly as you had hoped.
Right.
Right. And Gil, anything from you? Any tips and observations you might share to people who are just rolling off that 21-step program?
I guess what has worked well for us is really the automation. As much as you can automate your business, you'll get more things done, right? So the way Chris and I work in our business partnership is that I do most of the automations and then she does majority of the Facebook marketing, right? So I'm like her back office. Um,
I
with
love
regards
that.
to this. Right. Right. So I do most of that, email autoresponders, sending SMS and other stuff. And that has really worked for us because, I'm still, you know, working in a 9 to 5 job and Chris is supplementing our family's income and she's busy with our home-based program. So as much as we can automate, different aspects of our business, that will really free up a lot of our time.
That's fantastic. That's great.
There's one more thing I realized, Raksha, as Hill was speaking. When we got into this business, Hill and I kind of like worked around and found what we were good at. So he was good at automating the business and emailing, and I was good at like looking at the numbers and Facebook advertising. So we found our strengths and went with it. And luckily, like I was able to outsource my weakness to my husband. And so we've got this really great partnerships. There are people who aren't lucky enough to have a partner, but there are ways that they've gotten about it. But it always goes with like finding your strength, and everything else that you did not want to do or you were weak at, they can outsource it.
Mhm.
So that's a pattern that I've seen with a lot of successful MOB affiliates.
That's so true, and that's great. And you guys are the dynamic duo with you being able to, as Gil says, he's your back office. I love that. Anyway, well, thank you so much for sharing, and congratulations again. And I'm sure I'll see you at another event sometime soon.
Yes, see
All
you
right.
soon.
Take
Thank you for
Thanks,
calling.
Raksha.
care. Bye.
Take care. Bye
Bye.
bye.